Hi there, Deb Hoekstra here from the studios of Bee-Bug Creations, and today I want to just share a short video with you on how to color with the new blends, Stampin Blends markers from Stampin' Up. They are alcohol-based markers, and this is what they look like. They are a dual-tipped pen. They've got a brush tip on one end and a bullet tip on the other end. The caps just pull off, and you can see there's the brush tip. And the important thing to remember when you're using them is to always replace the cap when you're done using them so the alcohol doesn't evaporate. I'm going to be showing you today how to color with these markers. I have a flower image here from the Birthday Blooms stamp set, but obviously you're going to be coloring whatever images that you have in your collection. The way I like to color, I'm going to start with, we're going to be using Calypso Coral, and I'm going to start with the lightest Calypso Coral. And I am going to fill in this entire flower here with the Calypso Coral, light color of the Calypso Coral, Stampin' Blends. And if you notice here, I am using the side of my tip. I think if you're going to color with your tip, you're going to smush the tip. I find a very light touch. I don't have to push very hard. The ink flows on very smoothly. And I like to use the side of my brush. And I also like to fill in my entire image with the lightest color first. And the reason I like to do that is because then it kind of gets the paper ready to accept the other colors of ink. So, and the other thing I like to do is I like to leave some white space when I'm first coloring my my image, because then that leaves some lighter areas on the flower. So I'm going to just go around the edge like so, and you'll see in a minute why I'm going to do this. And I'm going to leave that white space. I'm not going to color that in. Now, if you notice here, I went out of the lines. So I'm going to take my color lifter, and I'm going to I'm going to just push the ink back into the flower. And you don't really erase with this, you just move the color around is what you're doing. And you can see here how where I pushed, it's lighter in the flower there, and it is lighter on the outside. Part of the stain that you're seeing is the actual alcohol. Once that dries, that will not be as noticeable. Okay, so I filled my flower in with the lighter color for as much as I'm going to do. Now I'm going to come back with my darker Calypso Coral color. And if you notice, I used the brushed end on the first time. Now I'm going to use my bullet tip. And I'm going to only put the dark color where I think the shading is going to be. Now, Stampin' Up! Helps you out on a lot of the images. You can see here where they've got some lines where they think that it's going to be darker. And I think it's also going to be darker right along here. So I'm going to just kind of gently, carefully draw a line there. Okay. And then, obviously, in the flower center, it's going to be a bit darker there. So that's where I'm going to put my darker color, is right there. And once I get the dark color where I want, I'm going to come back with my lighter Calypso Coral, and I'm going to blend the ink. Now, a lot of people that I've seen use these just color with them, and that's great to do. But if you want to get the variation in the lights and the darks, you have to blend the ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to just go over the entire image. This is the way I like to do it. I'm going to go back over the entire image. And I'm going to pay attention especially to the lines where the light and the dark come together. Okay? And I'm going to work at blending them till I've got a smooth transition from the dark to the light. Now here I'm also going to go over my entire flower. So, and you're going to see here how then this color here that I've already colored is going to take on a medium tone, and this is going to be a lighter tone. That's why I like to leave white in there. So I'm going to just go over my darker area and work on blending it. And then I'm just going to take and I'm going to blend over the area I've already been on. Again, I'm going to pay attention to the areas where the dark and the light areas come together. And I'm going to just really work at blending them together. And there we have the flower that's colored in. Now, I could go back if I wanted to, and I do like to do this on, especially on flowers and stuff, and add just a little more dark over some of the dark areas, just to make it stand out just a little bit more. And then I'm not going to go over it anymore with the light color. So there we have the flower. This is Eclipso Coral. I did the same flower with Rich Razzleberry. That's Cherry Cobbler. And this is Pink Pirouette. Some of the lights and darks blend. You see them more than others. I want to flip this over. As you can see, the alcohol ink saturates the cardstock. So you always want to have a protective paper under your surface when you're working so that you don't bleed through to the surface underneath. I'm going to come back to the stem. I'm going to bring another image in here. This is an image from the Color Me Happy stamp set that was specifically made for the Stampin' Blends. And I am working on thank you cards right now, so I'm coloring these images. And I was going to be so smart and have this whole image colored with the light color so you didn't have to watch me color. And then I remembered another tip for working with the Stampin' Blends, and that is you want to work with small areas. You don't want to let the ink dry out between coloring and blending. So I didn't dare, so you see how I blended and everything and then I just left it. So I didn't dare color ahead before the video. So I'm not going to color this whole word, but we'll just go over here a little bit. And you see how I'm kind of using the edge of my brush. Again, I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just kind of letting the ink flow on. And I am not worrying about white space on this card here. I'm just going to do a light and a dark look. So, and you see how quickly I'm going here. I'm not worrying about getting all the way out to the lines. You'll want to use Whisper White cardstock for this. It works really well with the Stampin' Blends. It is made to absorb ink, so it absorbs the alcohol ink really well. And there we go. And see, I went out of the lines again. So we're going to bring my color lifter here. I'm just going to push it back into where the color is, and then that should dry just fine. All right, so now I'm going to bring my dark color in, and they have helped you out here. You can see that they have these little lines right here that look like they're the shaded area, or the where you'd have the shadow for the words. Oops. I'm in a hurry. I'm not doing very well on this. Well, slow down, Deb. As you can see, everybody always thinks that everything goes so well for me the first time. And as you can see, I make mistakes. I always tell people the beauty of what I do is nobody sees my mistakes. You only see my outcome. So let's see, where did I go out of the line here? Right here. I'm going to push this in a little bit. There we are. Okay, so now I'm going to come back. I've got my dark and my light. Now I'm going to come back with my light, and I'm going to color right here in the area, right here on that line where the light and the dark come together. And that's where I'm going to focus my attention, is right there. So now I've got some lights and some darks and some medium colors, as you can see as I do that. And you'll hear the pen squeak as you color. Okay, so that's what another demonstration, and I wanted to do this so you could see what the green looked like just by itself. And you can see here there's a light and a medium and a dark area, and you can see how you get the blending with the markers. So now I'm going to bring back the flower, and I'm going to show you one more kind of fun technique to do with the leaves. And you see here I've got light green, yellow, dark green, light green, and yellow written down here. And I'm going to show you how I made these leaves. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have light green written down here. So I'm going to just do my leaves and my stems. Okay, and you see how I did a sloppy job. There's some white still showing there, and that's okay. Now I'm going to come with my yellow, and I'm going to just, I'm not going to go over the stem, but I'm just going to go over the green with my yellow blend. So you see how it's kind of greenish yellow. So the fun thing about these blends is you can combine colors as well. And then I did my dark green. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to just run my dark green marker just over those lines on that leaf to be kind of like the vein. Okay. Then I'm going to come back with my light green and I'm going to blend just like I've been showing you how to do. So I'm just going to go right like this over those lines. And sometimes I find using a circular motion works really well instead of going back and forth. A circular motion works really well to blend those colors. And then finally I'm going to come back over that with some yellow and add some yellow highlights. And it's kind of hard to see now when it's wet, but you'll see it when it dries. And you can see here on my tip, coloring over the green, I didn't get any green on there at all. So there you go. That is just a real short video to show you how to use the Stampin' Blends to color images. I love them. They don't leave any lines. They flow on smooth. You get good coverage. I really feel like anyone can be an artist with these pens. So if you have any questions, you can email me or leave a comment on my blog and I'll answer that way. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.